Hello viewers, this is Just Fact Network TV, a place where you can get the latest information about Nigerian news. For those who subscribe, I want to say a big thank you to every one of you. We'll say God bless you. And if you're yet to do so, please kindly press the subscription button below. And now the news in details. Unkind things US diplomatic cabals reported Tinubu to have said about Buhari. On Friday, Bola Tinubu's media advisor by the name of Tunde Rahman made a statement that attempted to impeach the credibility of a viral, reputationally injurious pre-2015 anti-Buhari quote attributed to Bola Tinubu. The quote, which has been making the social media round in the past few weeks, goes thus: Muhammadu Buhari is an agent of destabilization, an ethnic bigot, a religious fanatic, who, if given the chance, would ensure the disintegration of the country. His ethnocentrism would jeopardize Nigeria's national unity. I have seen slightly different lexical variations of this quote, but the essential sentiment is unchanged. Some online newspaper in Nigeria reported Rahman to have insisted that the quote is fictitious, describing it as an handwork of merchants of hate and fake news. So what is the truth? The short answer is that the quote is largely accurate. I have never shared the quote, even though I have been familiar with it since 2011. But since Rahman was bold enough to challenge those behind it to mention where Tinubu made the remark, let me offer some help. Tinubu didn't say those words at a news conference, as some people have inaccurately claimed. He was quoted to have said them in confidential diplomatic cabals that the United States Consul General to Nigeria sent to him, to his bosses back home on Friday, February 21st. We got to know this because in September 2011, WikiLeaks, the insurgent, whistleblowing, official secret spion site, dumped a trove of 251,000 such confidential, unredacted cabals that U.S. Embassy officials sent to the U.S. State Department of Washington, D.C. from all over the world. In the February 21st, 2003 confidential cabals, which can be found, the U.S. Consul General to Nigeria reported Tinubu to have said Buhari was an ethnocentric agent of destabilization who would strain Nigerians' unity if he became the president. He also said that the Southwest would support Obasanjo against Buhari, which he did, because Tinubu and his group didn't want the spread of Sharia, which Buhari supported and which Obasanjo countered, and because even though Obasanjo was unlikable, he was Yoruba and Buhari was not. Looked to me like Tinubu was guilty of the same crime of ethnocentrism he accused Buhari of. The cabals reads, turning to the presidential contest, Tinubu disclosed that he does not like President Obasanjo because he contributed to the end of democracy in Nigeria during his tenure as a military president and is now benefiting from that history. That said, Tinubu admitted that he and his party, the Alliance for Democracy, must support Obasanjo. Southwest Nigeria is Yoruba land and the president is Yoruba. Tinubu's party had no choice since it has not fielded a presidential candidate. Moreover, Obasanjo is the only candidate who stands a chance of blocking his rival, General Muhammadu Buhari, whose ethnocentrism would jeopardize Nigeria. National unity, Buhari and his hike are agents of destabilization who would be far worse than Obasanjo. Tinubu and many other governors are therefore implementing a strategy to re-elect Obasanjo, partly in an effort to prevent Sharia from spreading. Tinubu predicted that the president will follow his own course if re-elected, since he will not need as many friends the second time around. Incidentally, Tinubu had really kind words to say about Atiku Abubakar throughout his interaction with the Consul General. Tinubu praised Vice President Atiku Abubakar, whom he has known for many years. The Consul General wrote, elaborating on his knowledge of the VP, Tinubu said he has known and understood the VP even before his entry into politics. Atiku is a detribalized politician who knows where he is going and how to build bridges to get there. The Consul General also wrote that Tinubu credit is going into politics to Atiku's personal encouragement. You won't guess that going by the way then, and their agents tore at each other or pretended to in the last presidential election. Anyway, my search of weekend leaks achieved with the key Bola Tinubu turned up several other unflattering characterizations Tinubu made to Buhari to Americans. For instance, in September 14, 2005, Secret Cabas U.S. Consul General Brian Boring wrote that Tinubu wanted to be vice president to either Atiku Abubakar or Muhammadu Buhari, but was self-conscious of the perception that either option would represent the country with a Muslim ticket, and reiterated the sentiment that Buhari perception as religious zealots made teaming with him unviable. While Tinubu did not see this, being vice presidential candidate as a big problem with Atiku due to Atiku's noted religious laxity and his pro-Western outlook, it would be a heavy cross to bear for Buhari's Tinubu ticket because of the perception in many southern Nigerian minds that Buhari is a religious zealot, Browning wrote. Because of his factor, Tinubu asserted he had begun to shift his focus, which had been exclusively on the vice presidency, to see the Senate as a nice place to land upon exiting the governor's mansion. Again, in the confidential cabal sent on Thursday, the Consul General reported Tinubu to have described Buhari as a fascist during an April 9, 2009 17 meeting. Again, in a confidential cabal sent on Thursday, April 12, 2007, the Consul General reported Tinubu to have described Buhari as a fascist during an April 9, 2007 meeting. Tinubu stressed he had no qualms about PDP presidential candidate Umaru Yar'Adua winning the election. The Consul General wrote, yet Tinubu was adamantly opposed to ANPP presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari. In a recent news story, Buhari called the PDP government fascist. Tinubu sarcastically mentioned that he would take Buhari's epithet as being accurate, for who better to identify a fascist than another one. As I wrote in September 24, 2011, column titled What the WikiLeaks controversy says about Nigerian leaking mounted elite in the aftermath of WikiLeaks exposes of the diplomatic cabals, the willingness of our elite to divulge unsolicited information about the nation to U.S. officials betrays an infertile test for a partner dictatorship. The United States is seen as that all-knowing, all-sufficient father figure to whom our elites run when they have troubles. We have learned from the U.S. Embassy cabals that our Supreme Court judges, central bank governors, even vice presidents and governors routinely run to the American embassy like terrified little kids when they have quarrel with each other. What I found particularly instructive, I added, is that our perpetually lying politicians suddenly become truthful, honest, and straight-talking people when they talk to Americans. You would think they were standing before their creators, or at least before a stand. Omniscient, no-nonsense dad who severely punishes his kids for the minute lie they tell. After the revelation became public knowledge in 2011, and the embarrassment that attended this, Nigerian politicians dismissed them as WikiLeaks beer parrot gossip. Of course, that is intentionally misleading flapdoodle. As I pointed out at the time, WikiLeaks was not the author of the embarrassing information about them. The uncomfortable bit of information about them, which is not inclusive to Nigerian politicians, were contained in U.S. diplomats' dispatches, which were intended only for the consumption of the U.S. President, the U.S. Secretary of State, and other high-profile government officials, but which WikiLeaks exposed to the rest of the world at a cost of tremendous discomfort and embarrassment to the U.S. government and embassy officials. I don't know what exactly Tinubu's media advisor is denying. The truth is that the Buhari's people are already acutely aware of Tinubu's honest opinion of Buhari and find his latter day pandering to them in a bid to earn their support for his 2023 presidential ambition, but theatrically and entertaining. For the rest of us, though, is media hate forcefully deny of that which is already achieved in the public domain prove English journalist Francis Cloud, Cookbong's famous, quick, that you should never believe anything until it has been officially denied. Wow, guys, this is a lot, I can't lie to you, a lot exposing all the politicians in Nigeria. Trust me, it's a lot. And come to think about it, this in 2003 general election, Tinubu was only Southwest governor that refused to campaign for re-election of Obasanjo. And he kept telling other Southwest governors that Baba Obasanjo would betray them. And he never allowed them to be re-elected as governors under Alliance for Democracy. This kind of politics is... Nigerian politics is a game politics. Trust me, I can't lie to you. It is purely game. And now Tinubu prophecy came to pass when he was the only governor that returned under the umbrella of AD as political party. So until now, Tinubu and Obasanjo, they are never friends throughout their tenure in office. Even during the second tenure, they're never friends. You know, it is, may God continue to bless the good people of this country. And the bad people of this country too. May God change their mind for good. May God change their mind for good. And somebody said that Tinubu is a great years of decades and had predicted the real Buhari that we have seen today, but suddenly fell prey against his prophecy as a matter of his personal and selfish greed to power. A simple mistake has caused Nigeria a great setback that will not be able to recover in the next 10 years to come. Unfortunately, it will be painful in the recorded history for his inability to understand that he was not dealing with an ordinary human being, but a primitive, uncultured beast with a human face of the century. More or less a chameleon that has no stable posture. Nigerians await to see what 2023 presidential election will give in relative to his political aspiration and the sale out of his people that he decided to engage. And that is the truth. Nigerians are waiting, trust me. 2023 is very close now. Nigerians are waiting to see what will happen in this forthcoming election. So guys, what do you think? Your comment is highly appreciated. Kindly drop your comments in the comment section. For those who subscribe, I want to say a big thank you and God bless you. Bye.